If I don't leave this place, I know I just can't. So, oh, 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 won't you let me know? Oh, 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 where to go? Where to go? I've been hanging inside these walls now for days.
So we're here in Tulbagh. This is my James Bond town. Shaken but not stirred.
They had an earthquake here, which we're going to tell you about a little bit later.
So let's go and discover Tulbagh.
Where to go?
Hello, Caroline Kim, how do you do?
Carol. I'm Dion.
Hi Dion, pleased to meet you. Welcome.
We're in Reader's Restaurant in Church Street in Tulbagh, and we've met Carol.
I have a very small a la carte menu. So I have two or three starters, 4 or 5 main courses, 2 or 3 desserts. I'm really well known for my ice creams. I do weird and wonderful flavors of ice cream.
Oh, wow.
And then during the daytime I do normal meals, and in the evening I do sort of a la carte, but more heavier style with steaks and things and Springbok shell.
This is like around the world in 6
7
ice
days.
creams. Well, thank you. You make the most delicious and exciting ice cream. So if anybody's ever in Tulbagh and you want to have very unusual ice creams, Reader's Restaurant. Right, so we're in the old Church Street of Tulbagh, and we've met Jason, who's the wonderful, gorgeous farmer from the gardens, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the gardens that they do here.
Great. Well, welcome to the Tulbagh Kitchen Gardens. We've been established now about 5 years ago, and we've only just very recently finished the construction that we had started of the formal top garden that I'm going to show you at the moment. We built these pillars to actually commemorate that aspiration of creating something beautiful, which also has a function. We grow vegetables for the local Tulbagh restaurants. We supply a vegetable hamper to Cape Town. And then there's also a soup kitchen and local people that get our food as well. There's a strong emphasis on education, trying to empower people to take responsibility for growing their own foods, assisting people with the knowledge and skill transfer of how to do that, and employing locals. Before the Tulbagh dams were built, we had regular floods, and what would happen is the silt would come down from the mountains and be deposited in this floodplain of where historic Church Street is now located. And that's the reason why my garden is so extraordinarily fertile.
I'm standing in front of the Oude Kerk. Legend has it that a dragon lived underground here in Tulbagh, and in 1969 this dragon decided to turn on its back, causing the well-known tremor that happened on the 29th of September. What is very important for me is that my mom gave birth to non-identical twins, and it is said that this tremor may ensure that they don't look alike.
So I'm here inside the Oude Kerk in Tulbagh, and we have a table of specific significance. This is where the treaty was signed between the Dutch and the English in 1806, and a replica of that treaty is just here in the drawer.
Carol, I was always under the impression that this particular building was more than 300 years old, but instead, you've got some news for me.
It was built in 1975 because the Redlinghouse family decided to settle in Tulbagh, and they built the house after the earthquake with remnants from the earthquake. Like the big sash windows come from the Oude Day. The chandeliers through there come from the church in Mariesburg. The cedar door behind me was one of the unique aspects about the house because most of the doors are in cedar wood and not yellow wood. And all the coffins in the ceiling used to be cedar wood as well.
And there's a reason why cedar wood was used.
Because it used to repel all insects. Nothing would eat it.
Nothing better than repelling insects. What else is good in this building?
And you walk through to the dining room, which is over 9 feet high, because there was a cupboard there that was 9.5 feet high and about 6 feet wide. And the house was built around that cupboard.
here at Padagam, this place is an institution. Great venue, great setting, great food and wine. They have their own wine label.
We are at Vindu Guest Farm and Luxury Tree Houses.
And right here you can actually rent these mountain bikes and actually ride through the vineyards, eh?
Yeah, so right now we're going to go through the vineyards and go to Sarensburg Wine Estate. So we'll see you there. We're in Sarensburg Wine Estate with Gerald here, the winemaker, and I had to draw him aside because I have never seen a wine bottle with so many stickers on it. This is probably the most prized wine I've ever seen in my life. Can you tell us a little bit about this wine, Gerald?
Well, it's Full Circle. It's our flagship. So essentially, it's the best vineyards on the farm that we combine together as a blend. In its class, it's definitely the most consistently awarded in South Africa, probably for the last 6, 7, 8 years. So you can see all the medals. We love to put the bling on. It's a lot cheaper than cutting down a Christmas tree, so you can have your Christmas party around it. But it's a wine that's made for aging, obviously, but still it's gentle, it's soft, it's approachable, and the big thing is it's consistent.
We find ourselves at Oakhurst Olives, and this is where we're going to do some olive tasting.
Charmaine, so tell us, what is the difference between these two oils?
All right, the oil on your plate is our delicate oil. Very, very mild oil, fantastic soft buttery flavor, very good with any white meats, any vegetables, any creamy dishes. This is also a fantastic oil to drink for health benefits. Any olive oil is very good for your health. It has the following health properties. It's anti-carcinogenic. It assists with arthritis, assists with Alzheimer's. It also increases good cholesterol, lowers bad cholesterol, and they're currently doing studies to prove that prolonged and regular use of olive oil reduces high blood pressure. And then we will test our medium oil, which is the one next to your plate. This is a slightly stronger flavor. It's a blend of different cultivars. It's got a more peppery flavor.
The building behind you is the very first farmhouse, built in 1848, which now been converted into a maturation cellar where the wine barrels are kept. Thick clay walls, and with the earthquake we had in 1969, hardly any cracks, just in the one corner. You know, the way they built buildings those years seem to be quite resistant to it.
They don't build them like they used to, eh?
No, no longer. Yeah, and this bell tower is probably the bell tower from the oldest church in South Africa in its present form, which is in Church Street in Tulbagh. And they sawed it off and they thought it's rotten, and we saw it lying underneath an oak tree, and then we bought it. And we bought it. Yeah, it's Burmese teak, and there was nothing wrong with it.
Wow.
So that's probably the oldest bell tower of all the wine estates that you could possibly visit.
Well, the name of the farm is De Oude Compagniespost. It's a previous outpost of the Dutch East Indian Company, and we then had to the trademark of the Dutch East Indian Company is this one, is the VOC, Verenigd Oos-Indies Compagnie. And my wife and I are members of the VOC Foundation. They had to use this trademark, otherwise it could have fallen in disuse. So then we were approached whether we would be interested, and we were, and we got the right to use this on a wine bottle directly from them. We thought the name of the farm was a bit too long to use on a wine bottle, so we abbreviated to Compagnie's Wyn. That Wyn is actually the Dutch way of spelling
it,
wine.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh Ouderkloof offers tractor tours to the top of the Obiqua Mountain at 382 meters above sea level. This is the second oldest wagon pass in all of South Africa.
So this was obviously a very substantial stop along the way, and there was a 2-hectare piece of land that was cut off here, and this was somebody's business. They obviously lived here and provided food and water to travelers. So this is probably the site of one of the oldest restaurants or hotels or motels along the road north. And as I say,
we did a fine job maintaining it. I much prefer it like this.
And if you come from the north, your ancestors probably drank water from here, because this was the route that they would basically have to go.
So in 1658, Peter Potter came from Cape Town. Jan van Riebeeck sent him to find a way to cross the mountain. The gradient from this side, it was a gentle way of climbing up the mountain, and they made it quite easily to the top of the mountain, which is where we are right now. But when they got here, the gradient going down is a 1 in 4 gradient, which made it very difficult. They had to take the wheels off the wagons just to get the wagons down without having an accident. But when they got to the top, they looked at this view that we see here today, and it was all worthwhile. Look at the view that we have here, and this is why they said here.
Where to go? Where to go?
So thank you for joining us on part 1 of the Tulbagh Valley. Stay tuned for part 2, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any future episodes. Ciao for now.
Won't you let me know? Oh, 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 oh.